Do you see now the difference in our power?
Yesterday, we had quite, and I mean quite, the scare. Well, for some people, it was a celebration. I did a poll on the channel where I was asking you guys, do you like the change that Steam made? And that change is basically where they're enforcing the entire gaming community to display, their season pass information, up front. And then if you don't deliver on the things that you're telling the people, then you got to give a refund for whatever you did not give. Are you happy with Steam's decision to require all games, Tekken 8 included, to reveal the season pass characters all at once? And this poll at the time of recording, 3,000 votes. Some people say yes, it's a good change. Some people say no, it's bad change. Now, this comes from this Reddit post here, which basically has this excerpt. And this person here highlighted it, right? One of the most customer-friendly moves of the decade. Streams now will require the games that offer a season pass to list exactly what will be included and the release dates. And if the DLC is not delivered, a partial refund, right? 1.5 million views. From the time I made the video, it had 1 million views. So 500,000 more people have seen this. So this tweet is reaching far and wide. And that's because every player base is trying to figure out how this affects their game. Now, there is something that a lot of people are starting to notice and starting to say, like, wait a minute, maybe this isn't what we think it is. We, as the Tekken players, right now, I introduce my tweet. Where's my tweet? My tweet, I said Tekken 8 now requires all season pass characters to be revealed at once. And what I was implying by this is that no longer can Tekken reveal all their DLC one at a time and like have the little like silhouette that they do. You now have to state what every character is and who they are so people can make an accurate purchase decision. Now, as the day progressed, I seen a lot of people saying, well, that's not actually what they meant. Read the fine print, Moonsault, you fool. And as I started to look into the fine print during the live stream that I did, we were discussing what does this actually mean? What are they actually saying? Because if you look at Maximilian's tweet, he came to the same conclusion that I did. So it shows that it's not just the Moonsault Slayer misinterpreting as always. This is something that the majority of the FGC was stunned by. But the part that a lot of people are saying pay attention to is this part here. So it says to make the commitment, developers must describe each of the major content delivery dates and contents to the players by each date and content below. So the part here where it says content, people are saying that does not mean that they need to specify, let's say, names, who the character is. They can still use the silhouette and that'd be good enough. Like if you say you're giving 4 characters, as long as you give those 4 characters, that's all that matters, is what people were saying. We have another screenshot from Steam where they give clarification as to what they meant because they kind of see that everything's kind of being misinterpreted. But before we tackle that, we got to look at this. So this person says, how much of this season pass of City Skylines 2 do you think came out so far? So as you can see, the majority of this content was supposed to drop, well, half in 2023, half in 2024. And I would assume, I'm not a City Skyline fanatic, but I would assume that the 2024 Q1 and Q2 did not happen. So they did not follow through on their promise. So when the Steam guidelines hit, they would probably have to refund players for whatever they didn't deliver on. So it seems like Steam was trying to tackle things like this and not necessarily keeping characters' identities and stuff hidden. Now, when we talk about the new excerpt that we got from Steam, it's a season pass guidelines. When a season pass is made available for purchase on Steam, it must include the following information: a complete list of all the DLC included in the pass, i.e. each of the 4 DLCs included in a pass. And then it says a basic description of the content included in each DLC. For example, the first content release might be the Glitterland expansion, new area explored, new weapons, new enemies. It's not required the DLC to have a final name at launch of the season pass. So they do not require a final name. So they can use placeholder holders is what that's saying. The highlighted says the information about the content in DLC doesn't need to be detailed. Simple new weapons or two new weapons is acceptable. And you would have to imagine the same thing for new characters or two new characters, right? They don't have to list the exact weapon. Expected release dates for DLC for each DLC quarter and year, i.e. January to March 2025, or season/year is acceptable. Of course, a date that is more precise is also fine. This definitely does a much better job of breaking down exactly what we are, what this is saying, because the term obviously was too loose for Maximilian to misinterpret it. It shows that it was too loose, right? So with this, you get a better understanding of what they're trying to say, but also it clearly states. But see, so they could still keep the characters hidden. But what if we go back to the stage DLC for Heihachi and how that wasn't a part of the past and people got upset? What this also ensures is that will no longer happen. We will still know how many new stages is a part of the past and not of the past. So if they give us 4 characters and we see 1 stage as a part of it, we could probably assume that there's some free stages out there. But if we see 4 stages, we can assume that there probably is no free stages.